Hello everyone, and welcome back to Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2. In this 1v1 showdown, I'm going to be facing off against Professor Pone, who's going to be leading the forces of the Tau Protector fleet. So as far as my army goes, I'm going to be playing Chaos with the sub-faction of the World Eaters. So all of the god-specific factions of Chaos, so you have the Death Guard for Nurgle, the Emperor's Children for Slaanesh, Thousand Suns for Tzeentch, and of course the World Eaters for KHORNE have unique abilities, which really can kind of change up the typical playstyle of Chaos. So Chaos is a very range-heavy faction. They're kind of like the Tau, for example, but they shoot from the side instead of the front, which the Tau just kind of line up, they shoot downtown. Chaos, you're going to be doing more broadsides, and of course, Chaos are quite a bit faster than a lot of other factions. You can usually outmaneuver the Imperium, the Adeptus Astartes, take advantage of your mobile ships, capture objectives, pick them apart, that kind of playstyle. But we're going to be playing the World Eaters, which drastically changes the playstyle because we have access to a couple unique abilities. So the first one is going to be the Bloodletter Parties. So for anyone who knows, Bloodletters are the demons of KHORNE, and we actually have the ability to assault enemy ships from our flagship using the Bloodletter Parties, which is very cool. It's pretty much the same as Honor the Chapter for the Space Marines, but it gives Chaos access to a very similar ability. And on top of that, the Bloodletter Parties is a technical skill, so it's not going to be using one of your command abilities like Honor the Chapter. So quite excited to show you guys this ability. On top of that, we do have the Micro Warp Jump, which just gives Chaos more mobility, and we have a very big slow flagship, which I'll be showing you guys in a minute. So having the Micro Warp Jump gives it the ability to jump around the map, help with other objectives, and get out of trouble if need be. On top of that, we have even more abilities which are going to make Chaos into the faction that I've always wanted, which is a very melee aggressive faction. We have the KHORNE BERSERKERS. So while performing a boarding action, the critical assault chance is increased by 20%. So that's all my ships in the fleet. And on top of that, we have the Chaos Space Marines. So when performing an assault action, the critical assault chance is increased by another 10%. So we're going to be having a 30% with boarding actions, I think. So this one's just for boarding. It's not going to be for lightning strikes. And this one is going to be for all assault actions, which includes lightning strikes. So with boarding, we're going to be getting, that's what we really want, is that extra 30%. So that's going to be really, really solid. I'm incredibly excited to try it. And of course with the Tau, we want to get close. We want to go hard in the paint. We want to board them, which I feel like it could catch people off guard. I mean, in this format, I've actually, talked to Professor Pone. We're in a lobby together. He can see my abilities, but in a traditional 1v1, you can't see what your opponent brings. So they're going to see Chaos and be like, oh yeah, it's, long range. Then you just come in with like KHORNE BERSERKERS and Bloodletters and all kinds of cool stuff. So for the fleet, it's going to be called KHORNE, and we do have a Desolator, which is kind of a long-range gunship for the most part, but it's heavy, it's powerful. It does have the warp jump, so we're just going to be, teleporting alongside people, broadsiding them, boarding them, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And Slaughters, honestly, are not only are they named very aptly for playing KHORNE, but they're incredibly fast. They have 240 speed. Most ships, I think, in that class have 200 speed, give or take. Even the smaller ships, the light cruisers, have less speed. I think these guys have 240. So they're as fast as an escort ship, which is pretty crazy. And some of the bigger ships, like the Despoiler, for example, has 160. So Slaughters are very fast. They're very efficient. They have, good gun capabilities, triple barrel missile turret, frontal firing weapons, one side firing weapon, and yeah, they just do a good job. And on top of that, we have a bunch of infidels. Holding objectives with Chaos is very important. If they have a build that you don't really want to engage or you can't catch them, you simply play the objective game and try and outmaneuver them. So that's going to be our fleet. And I think without further ado, let's get this show on the road. Good luck to Professor Pone and his Tau. And let's see if we can make the World Eaters work in melee. And if not, we're going to go down swinging, because that's the KHORNE way. Win or lose, there's going to be skulls for KHORNE. So I suppose that that all fits his very grand agenda. The encouraging speech command allows your ship to swiftly recover from a morale loss. We're definitely going to have some issues with morale. Chaos doesn't, because Chaos Space Marine ships, kind of the lore of it per se, or the explanation is that they're not as good at boarding as the Loyalist Space Marines, because the Space Marines their entire ships are like Space Marines, whereas the Chaos ones are partially manned by like cultists and other Chaos kind of minions. But look at those World Eater ships. God damn, those things are cool. The God-specific ships are just so badass looking. I mean, look at that. There's literally a giant demon head on top of the ship, which is going to be awesome. It kind of reminds me of Firefly. You remember the, I forget what those guys are called in that movie, but basically the cannibal, like crazy guys. Those guys are totally like KHORNE affiliates of some sort. All right, so we're going to put our flagship in one. Our slaughter fleet's going to be moving dirty in its own group, and we're going to put them in they're relatively short range. Let's go ahead and look. Yeah, they're pretty short range. I mean, lock on helps a little bit, but I think we're just going to go with the, we can't run silent. So we'll just go for reload for now. This guy's going to be on lock on because he does have massive range. And let's go ahead and split our guys into two fleets here. So these are infidels. They're going to be running silent, and we're going to go here with the other two. The other two escort ships are going to go with our main fleet and just kind of help out. Probably sneak up. Now let's go ahead and hit Alt twice to kind of open up the terrain so that shows us where everything is. We'll get rid of this. And yeah, our main fleet's almost ready to party, so we'll get these guys here, and what's really cool is we do have the Micro Warp Jump, which allows us to teleport to any nearby ship's identification range. So if our big ship's like lagging behind and we need it in a pinch, we can simply kind of summon it in. So Tau obviously have heavy range, but I don't know if Professor Pone is going to be bringing any tricks. Now, the Kroot War Sphere, there's this build with the Kroot War Sphere, which is a mercenary ship. Therefore, if it mutinies, it's gone. But there's a build where you use this, I think it's called something of the water cast, that makes it unbreakable. So that kind of like nullifies its only weakness, which is the fact to have mutinies on it. So I don't know if he goes with the War Spheres. I'm going to be a little bit cautious about going in melee. Granted, I think with our boarding and just the fact that we have the KHORNE Berserkers and the Chaos Space Marines, I think we kind of have to. But I'm quite eager. We can play the shooting game from our Fortress of Betrayal. This thing has massive macro power. I mean, that's what Chaos is really known for, the triple barrel. Super heavy missile turret. Look at that thing. That thing is serious. And if you look at the little tooltip on the bottom, you can see that the accuracy does change at a distance. There's certain abilities you can bring to help with that. Usually when I play like the Tzeentch army or the Slaanesh army, I like to go very heavy ranged. The Nurgle army actually has access to like a Cloud of Flies type ability, which does a ton of AoE damage to nearby ships. It actually does like 50 damage a second, which is pretty solid. So let's move these guys up and just go capture this objective. The main fleet is just going to kind of head on up the middle, and there's his fleet. So yeah, we're going to have to scan with our other ships. So these boys can go ahead and I think we want to back cap. So we're going to do this, and we're going to make sure they're running silent if they're not already. And then we'll get in here. We could just play the objective game against the Tau. We do actually have torpedoes too on these guys, which is quite nice. So if we want to shoot torpedoes downtown and kind of, just prod and see what he's got going on. Yeah, slaughter ships are probably one of my favorite ships on the Chaos roster. They're very quick. They have pretty strong hulls, honestly. A lot of HP. 1600, 2400 on my big ship. It's not that big of a difference for like the cost. Like, I think that's really one of the competitive ways to play Chaos, is just to spam slaughters and use your range, and maybe, or you could go with like despoilers, the heavy gunships. See how that's going? So I don't have the attribute which allows me to use my maneuvers and not be identified, so I'm not going to be accelerating here. Now the first Tau ship is going ahead. It's going to be this little dinky guy, this little manta ray looking thing. Or KHORNE, so like I'm not playing too many games. Okay, do I want to do this and like set up a torpedo barrage downtown? I think I do. That could be kind of cool. So let's go ahead and capture here. I wonder what his build is. Yeah, we're going to have to like send some of our scouts up to deal with that. So let's actually just be a little bit more direct. We don't need to be so sneaky. This one's almost captured. And now, yeah, let's shoot some torpedoes. I mean, hopefully we can hit something here. And it looks like we've capped that. So let's go ahead and move up here. And one of them I'm going to grab and just have it be like our scout sacrifice, just to kind of see what's going on. You need to really know what's going on with the Tau. They're a sneaky folk. So we got some clouds. We can honestly accelerate and then maybe, but I think hiding in the clouds, waiting for him to move off it. Yeah, he's moving up here. I have a feeling he's using the Kroot War Spheres. I just know that he likes those shenanigans. We shot our little torpedoes, but they're probably not going to hit anything. Our angling wasn't the best, but I mean, might as well do something. Just get a little bit of poking going. So we're just going to hang here for now. We have the two objectives. We're about to capture this third one. So we will have the objective advantage. There's not necessarily a reason for us to kind of push out here. Our slaughters, we can kind of spread out a little bit. The Tau aren't the fastest of factions, but they can pound us from a distance. So we need to kind of be wary. I think our big ship, we might just park like right here, because we're probably going to use the micro warp jump with that one. So these guys can go here. You can go ahead and go full speed ahead. It's going to identify us, but we're just going to try and, get a scan off. Okay, so we got his ship right here, which is cool. And do we want to shoot some torpedoes? No, we're actually not in range there, so great. We're going to shoot here, and this guy's going to go do our identification. Our big ship can kind of move up and just park in position, and the slaughters are going to get ready to slaughter, as the name would infer. So you guys need to kind of get your business together here. And you're going to go ahead and do a scan. And did we get any ships? Okay, great. So we got a scan here. We're going to do a high-speed turn. Actually, we are out of fuel. So now we know what's going on with his fleet here. So let's go ahead and start shooting this guy. The slaughters can go ahead and kind of park right here. And you guys can go capture this objective as well. Okay, so he's got that. It looks like it's going to be a gun-heavy fleet. So these are the mining ships, which I think are pretty good. Hopefully we can kind of polish this ship off. And this guy, we can do emergency repairs. Yeah, that ship's pretty much doomed. We have to kind of just accept that. But yeah, we're going to try and get that manta ray ship. That's actually kind of the shootier ship, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know the Tau that well, but yeah, we're gonna try our best here. So we're gonna just kind of sit and shoot at him and just do that. Great. So we got some shots with our big boy. We actually killed one of his small ships, so we can start kind of macroing him here. These guys are going to be boarding, so we want to maybe shoot with our big ship here. Yeah, we're getting some solid firepower downtown, and eventually we will teleport. So, all right, so here we go. So let's go ahead and accelerate here. We're going in. It's KHORNE. It's KHORNE. We got to play the KHORNE way. I mean, I know I should just kind of play on objectives, but it's way more fun to just go in and get nuts. So first things first, we're going to try and get this big ship here. And we definitely want to get some boarding action. So let's get you going here, you going here. And we're going to get some boarding in a couple seconds. Boom. So we got the boarding. We actually got a ram. We'll board this ship. We'll board this ship. We can lightning strike him, I think. Actually, we can board you, and let's pull you guys up and around here, and we'll get emergency repairs going on this guy, and we'll get some boarding going on you, and our big ship can now go ahead and do the micro warp jump and teleport right here, just like this. And now we can kind of just circle this way. We've done some pretty good damage. We're going to win the fight on that objective. Check this out. Oh, that's so cool. And now we can do the bloodletter parties here, which is going to be great. We'll do some boarding actions. We're just going to keep circling because Chaos has really good like drive-by actually. And good. This is what we want. We got in the pocket. We are taking some firepower from over here. This little manta ray ship is doing some work. And these guys can go ahead and snake that objective right now. And let's go ahead and just focus you. And hopefully our big ship can kind of polish off this one as well. And we're going to go ahead and accelerate because we don't need to like stay in his range here. Let's just go ahead and get out of here. We might have been a little bit overzealous here. We don't have like any serious damage yet, but so far we are, doing pretty well in the objective game. All right, so our other ships want to just circle. We'll just kind of keep polishing off this manta ray ship. We'll keep going here. And these guys can go down here, and these guys can go down here. We do have a fire on this ship, so let's go ahead and do emergency repairs. Keep shooting here. And do we have any boarding right now? We're going to have boarding soon, but this ship's actually getting just taken out by our slaughter ship. So good. So now we want to go back around here. And we need to rally. Our leadership's pretty good on most of our ships, except this one that does have the fire, which is unfortunate. So let's go ahead and burn the retros. Just kind of, I think we just got to go here. This guy can go ahead, can go here, and you need to do emergency repairs and get ready to party. So our other ships are going to come. We should be able to finish off this this other ship with some boarding actions. So let's get boarding. And are we quite in range yet? We're not in range. And let's get boarding here. Boarding. I think we should have it on all these ships here. Yeah, that should Hulk that ship. And then if we can get away with the other ones. Yeah, okay, now it's a Hulk. So let's go ahead and just focus down this manta ray ship. And the KHORNE ships are doing pretty good. He does have that one manta ray back there that's still going. And oh my god, this is such a wet noodle fight over there. And we're fighting over this objective here. So now we're just going to kind of park our big ship over here. And we could use the... Yeah, we don't really need to be honest. We want to finish this guy off. And do we have any boarding actions we can hit him with? Might as well. So this ship is actually, I think, is more valuable gunship here. So we're going to go ahead and accelerate over here. For the blood god! Yes, that's so awesome. All right, so we mutinied that ship off. So let's go ahead and turn our thrusters. We just have this guy like in our pocket now. All right, so let's go ahead and turn these off. Is there anyone to do emergency repairs on here and here? Oh man, we were just getting some really good focus fire here. And we can actually start shooting there with that ship. These guys need to just get in here. I don't know why they keep flying out of that objective. That's so obnoxious. And now we just kind of finish off the manta ray. I think if we just kind of like surround him. And we can surround here, and this guy needs to come back. He got a little bit. I forgot to turn off the thrusters on him, but he's just excited. He's in that KHORNE blood frenzy. We could actually turn and just face the ship. I think that's fine. Our two small ships here are doing pretty good. We can shoot some torpedoes. Oh, no, that was not the best torpedo shot. And let's burn retro so they just sit on the objective, and that's good. Okay, so now we have this full surround here. There's a fire on board. Things are going pretty well. And let's do some boardings. Let's get those KHORNE Berserkers. I mean, KHORNE Berserkers... That crit chance is pretty insane. Like, it really helps. I could be targeting certain aspects of the ship, but I don't know if I necessarily need to right now. So let's go ahead and accelerate past him here. Okay, he pushed us away with, like, something, but I'm not too concerned. So let's do a boarding action for the Blood God. Why can I not do a boarding action? There we go. Great, we've circled them, and oh man, the firepower on these slaughters is really nasty. It's incredibly solid. So this ship's mutinied, but we want to get the points for it. And the micro warp jump we can't do because I think there's some sort of damage. So we'll do some emergency repairs, which isn't going to fix that per se. But we have mutinied this Tau ship. And yeah, let's just kind of finish this guy off if we can. Our other murder ships are going to come up here. I don't think we need to play the objective game too much. Let's actually get our very beat up one, do a high-speed turn. And then we're going to turn back and sit on this objective and hold that. Let's go here. I really like the Chaos Space Marine World Eater play because it's good at boarding, but it's also good at shooting. It's like... I'm able to circle the ships. You can see I took out multiple ships with just raw damage, but also was able to Hulk ships with boarding because you get that massive critical chance on your boarding actions, which seems really cool. And it looks like he has a ship over here that was trying to hide from us, but we're going to catch him. So let's go ahead and turn here, and we'll burn retros. Just kind of hang tight for now to shoot the ship. And yeah, so these guys, for the Blood God, need to get over here and just take care of this ship. So let's go ahead and go downtown. These guys are drifting Hulk, so we don't want to crash into you. All right, great. So let's go ahead and hit the accelerators on these ships. We need to just go straight in here for KHORNE. And just kind of keep shooting here. We can actually go ahead and start moving this guy over in this direction. And let's line up our ships here and see if we can get some torpedo runs on them. We have all of the objectives. And these guys are hulked out. So I'm not too concerned about that. But slaughters are just so fast. I love these ships. Like, you can get around so quick. Anyways, we're lining up our shots here. Big Papa's coming in, but he's obviously a little bit... Yeah, we're not going to shoot torpedoes there. We would hit our own ships, probably. And the firepower, like I said, pretty good on these guys. All right, so let's go here. And we got brace for impact on, which is cool. And we're going... So we'll pull one under, one over the top, and then we're going to do a boarding action as we do go by here. And I don't mind the ram. I'm totally fine with that. We're doing it. We're just going in deep, guys. All right, so we'll do some repairs. We got him kind of... We're going to lightning strike here just because I want to just get it off. And this guy's going to do a boarding action. Actually, I'm all out of boarding actions there, so that's unfortunate. So these guys can fire some torpedoes. Yeah, we'll just kind of shoot in here. Our big ship will shoot in as well. We just got some haggard-ass ramming actions. Let's get you going here. You on the bottom side. And that big ship's in trouble. It's just surrounded. It's taking a lot of firepower. So I think at this point we switch onto a reload stance, just because we're in close quarters, and that's going to be all she wrote. Looks like it mutinied there. So well played to my opponent. It was definitely a fun one. Man, I love that slaughter. Like, you're fast, you can board, you can shoot. Definitely brings a lot of utility. I mean, we had some lazy focus fire in the beginning, but I still think it worked out well. Like, we boarded and hulked the one ship, we focus fired down the second manta ray, and our big ship came in and just did a whopping amount of damage with the bloodletter boarding and some of those other tactics. So yeah, the micro warp jump, a really good ability. It allowed our big ship to teleport from downtown right on top, and then we did a circle with it. We took a lot of damage, but I think it was worth it. Bloodletter parties is cool, but it's hard to be super efficient with it because the ship is so slow, and oftentimes it does. I think bloodletter parties would be better if we were just spamming carnages, like faster ships, and just had that one just, cycling this ability. But the KHORNE Berserkers plus the Chaos Space Marines tactics for the upgrades, I think are pretty damn good. I really, really do like that style of play. I like that they're fast, they're maneuverable. They're quite a bit faster than the Astartes ships, if I'm not mistaken, but I'll have to take a look at what the MK2s are. And for our opponent, the Tau, he was using a lot of the mining lasers, I think. Let's look. So yeah, he had a couple mining lasers, the light cruisers. Yeah, so a pretty diverse fleet for sure. He had repair drones, the gravity wave projector, which I think is what he used to push our ship. And then he also had the water cast, which made it so the morale value of crew and mercenary ships, cannot be reduced below 100. It's unbreakable. And of course, the identification range, which is useful for sure, but I'm going to be coming to him anyways if I'm playing the World Eaters. So before we go here, let's show you guys the God-specific abilities. So 1,000 Suns have the Winds of Change, which generates a cloud in a 5,000 unit radius around the ship. Cloud moves. So basically, if you see like a gas cloud that you can hide in, this creates one for you, which is really good for a shooty Chaos army. You get a bunch of shots, you use the Winds of Change, you hide, you come out of the cloud, like it gives you a ton of utility, and you get the Tzeentch's Flamers. So on critical assault actions, this is assault or lightning strike. The ship lights on fire, which is pretty cool. So you essentially send the Tzeentch flame units on board, which is neat. So that's it for Tzeentch. You get a cloud, you get some boarding abilities for Slaanesh, which is really competitive. You get the Slaanesh's Promise. Creates a corruption below that can be directed in any direction from the ship. Enemy ships that are caught in that are rendered inactive for 10 seconds. So their shield and defense turret are also deactivated. So it locks them in place. It deactivates their shields, their turrets. There is so much potential with Slaanesh's Promise. I mean, you could deactivate them, spam bombers on them, just take them out, like shoot them to pieces. It's a really good ability. And on top of that, you get the Siren Cannon. So when you're in lock-on stance, your macro cannons hit for a morale loss. So if you're playing against like orcs or a low leadership faction, this could be pretty good. And Nurgle, last but not least, they do get the Void Locust Swarm Cloud. So your capital ship or whatever ship has this technical skill, which is going to be your capital ship, in a 45,000 unit radius, which is kind of small, but you have to get close. Suffer 10 damage per second. Okay, that's pretty good. And it ignores armor. And allied Nurgle ships nearby, of course, all your ships are going to be Nurgle if you're playing Death Guard. They get healed for 2 points, hull points per second. That's not bad at all. That's really good. I'm looking forward to... I'll put out another video pretty soon trying this one out. And then we get the Possessed Vestal, which is one of their unique traits that makes it so if your deck is destroyed, you can still use the stances because Chaos Demons are essentially managing your ship, which is pretty cool. So those are all the God-specific abilities. Hopefully that helped you guys out and you get to see what the end game for the Warriors of Chaos is. And yeah, that's it for the World Eaters and the rest of the Chaos for now. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Well played to my opponent, Professor Pone, and we will see you guys next time. Take care.